Miami Beach today sparkles. It is a world-famous destination. People love its sandy shores. They admire its Art Deco buildings. The sun shines brightly here. Tourists flock from everywhere to enjoy its vibrant energy. Luxury hotels line the oceanfront. But this glamorous city was not always here. It was once a very different place. Imagine a time before the wide avenues and bustling cafes. This is the story of how a wild swamp became a playground. It is a tale of incredible vision. The man behind this amazing change was Carl Fisher. He was an American entrepreneur full of big ideas and boundless energy. Fisher was already famous. He had co-founded the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and was a key figure in developing the Lincoln Highway, the first coast-to-coast road in America. Fisher loved challenges and was always looking for the next grand project to tackle. He had a knack for seeing potential where others saw nothing. He was a born promoter and a relentless builder. One day, Carl Fisher set his sights on South Florida. In the early 1910s, he encountered a long, narrow strip of land between the Atlantic Ocean and Biscayne Bay. It was mostly a tangle of mangrove trees and swamp. Few people lived there, and it was considered undesirable, almost worthless land by many. To reach it, one had to take a boat. Fisher, however, saw something different. He saw beyond the mud and the mosquitoes. He saw a future that others could not even imagine for this isolated barrier island. Fisher envisioned a magnificent winter resort, a beautiful city by the sea, a place where wealthy northerners could escape the cold. He pictured grand hotels with stunning ocean views, wide, palm-lined boulevards and elegant homes dotting the landscape. He wanted to create a true American Riviera. This wild, unpromising stretch of land could become a paradise. It was an incredibly ambitious dream, and many thought it was an impossible one. Fisher, however, was determined to make it real. He was ready to pour his fortune and energy into it. Before Carl Fisher's arrival, Miami Beach was a wild, untamed place. It was a barrier island, barely above sea level in many spots. Thick mangrove forests covered much of its surface. Their tangled roots spread everywhere, making the land very difficult to cross. The ground was often wet and muddy. Alligators and snakes were common inhabitants. The air was heavy with humidity. Mosquitoes and sandflies were a constant nuisance. It was a natural landscape, beautiful in its own way, but it was far from ready for human settlement or grand hotels. Fisher faced enormous challenges. The first and most obvious was the land itself. It was too low, too wet, and too overgrown. Building anything substantial seemed impossible. Then there were the insects. Mosquitoes bred in the swamps in vast numbers, making life unbearable for anyone trying to work or live there. There was no fresh water supply and no bridge to the mainland Miami. All supplies and workers had to be brought over by boat, which was slow and expensive. The task ahead was truly monumental. Many people thought Fisher's project was foolish. They openly doubted his sanity. Some mockingly called his grand vision Fisher's folly. How could anyone transform this mosquito-infested swamp into a luxury resort? The idea seemed absurd to most observers. Investors were hard to find. Few wanted to risk their money on such an outlandish scheme. Fisher faced considerable skepticism and even ridicule, but he was a man of great self-belief. He was not easily swayed by the opinions of others. He pressed on with his plans, undeterred. The sheer scale of the transformation required was daunting. Miles of impenetrable mangrove forest needed to be cleared. This was tough, backbreaking work. The land then had to be filled and raised to make it suitable for construction and protect future buildings from flooding. This meant moving millions of cubic yards of sand and earth. It was an engineering challenge of epic proportions. It required immense resources, manpower, and machinery. Fisher was essentially planning to reshape an entire island. He was ready to fight nature itself. Carl Fisher's plan to conquer the swamp was bold and ingenious. He decided to use a method called dredging and filling. His crews would dredge sand and mud from the bottom of Biscayne Bay. This material would then be pumped onto the low-lying areas of the island. This process would gradually raise the land level, creating solid, dry ground where before there was only muck. This land reclamation technique was ambitious for its time. Fisher was essentially manufacturing new land, building his city from the bay bottom up. The work was relentless. Huge dredging machines operated around the clock. Their powerful pumps sucked up tons of sand and seawater. This slurry was then piped onto the island. Armies of workers toiled under the hot Florida sun. They cleared the stubborn mangrove trees with axes and saws, battling the heat, the humidity, and the persistent insects. Slowly but surely, the landscape began to change. What was once swampy wetland became firm ground. The island grew wider and higher. It was a noisy, messy, but ultimately successful operation. Fisher understood that accessibility was crucial for his new resort. He knew people and supplies needed an easy way to reach the island. So he played a key role in financing the Collins Bridge. This wooden bridge opened in 1913. It stretched over 2 miles across Biscayne Bay, connecting Miami Beach to the mainland city of Miami. At the time, it was the longest wooden bridge in the world. This bridge was a lifeline, making development much faster and easier. It was a true game changer for Fisher's project. Beyond the physical construction, Fisher was a marketing genius. He knew how to create a buzz. He staged elaborate publicity stunts to draw attention to Miami Beach. He famously paraded baby elephants down the newly paved streets. He invited celebrities and wealthy industrialists, even offering them free plots of land or subsidized homes. He wanted to cultivate an image of exclusivity and glamour. He launched national advertising campaigns, painting Miami Beach as a sun-drenched paradise. He sold the dream, and people started to believe. The results of Fisher's efforts were nothing short of spectacular. Almost overnight, the swamp began to recede. In its place, a new city started to emerge. Grand hotels like the Flamingo rose majestically. Beautiful Mediterranean-style homes were constructed. Fisher ensured that wide boulevards were laid out. He had thousands of palm trees planted to create a tropical ambience. He built golf courses, polo fields and tennis courts. Parks and promenades were designed for leisurely strolls. The transformation was astonishing. Fisher's dream was taking shape before everyone's eyes. Miami Beach quickly became a fashionable and sought-after destination. The rich and famous from across America flocked to its shores. They came to escape the harsh northern winters. They were drawn by the promise of endless sunshine. They loved the pristine beaches and the clear blue ocean. The luxurious lifestyle Fisher had cultivated was a major attraction. Miami Beach became the winter playground he had envisioned. It was the place to see and be seen. The city pulsed with excitement, glamour, and opulence. It was truly a new jewel on Florida's coast. Carl Fisher's monumental work had a profound impact that extended far beyond Miami Beach itself. It acted as a powerful catalyst for the economic development of all of South Florida. The construction boom created thousands of jobs. The influx of tourists and new residents boosted local businesses. Miami Beach's success demonstrated the region's potential. It inspired further investment and development throughout the area. The city became a symbol of American ingenuity and ambition. It helped put Florida on the map as a premier tourist destination. The ultimate legacy of Carl Fisher is the vibrant city of Miami Beach. He was a true pioneer, a man of extraordinary vision and tenacity. He took a desolate strip of mangrove swamp and transformed it into one of the world's most iconic resorts. He faced down enormous natural obstacles and widespread skepticism, yet he never wavered in his pursuit of his dream. Today, millions of people from all over the globe visit and enjoy the city he built. Carl Fisher is rightly remembered as the father of Miami Beach. His indelible mark on the landscape is a testament to his audacious spirit.